October 16th, 2025. It is 12:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I am Pavio G, your host. Welcome to War Notes. I am grateful you are here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Help this voice reach more ears if possible. Today, we will span continents and kitchens, the latest in U.S. and global news, wars abroad, food prices crushing budgets, the shutdown status, and three simple recipes to help stretch your meals. And I'll share a thought. Life is a dance. Don't let the weight of the world stop your movement at all. Let it help you to begin a new movement, but definitely not let it stop your movement. We will be back in less than 30 seconds to continue our live old school style broadcast. The U.S. federal government shutdown continues with hundreds of thousands of workers furloughed or working without pay. Agencies like the IRS, Interior, parts of defense are operating in limited mode. Congress remains deadlocked. Political pressure grows with each day that vital services, veterans' benefits, health programs, and national security functions are strained. Leaders are negotiating over border policy funding, IRS enforcement, and debt ceiling trade offs. Now, some Republicans resist funding proposals seen as compromise. Democrats push to protect social safety nets. Meanwhile, military families and federal contractors continue to feel the squeeze, some going without paychecks, some missing bills, others cutting essentials. Now we walk over to Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine launched renewed drone strikes on Russian energy facilities. Russia retaliated with missile attacks targeting Ukraine cities. The front is fluid in Donetsk and Kharkiv. In the Middle East, as far as Israel and Hezbollah, they escalate along Lebanon border. Gaza sees renewed air exchanges. Iran's proxy groups respond in border zones. When we walk over to the Red Sea in Yemen, a major shipping route under pressure from Houthi attacks and blockade threats is disrupting global trade flows and increasing shipping insurance costs. On the Taiwan and South China Sea, China's naval patrols are more frequent. Taiwan's military reported radar tracks of Chinese bombers and drones entering contested zones. When we take a look at Africa and Sahel, in Burkina Faso, coups and insurgencies deepen instability. Food shortages in East African countries worsen under climate stress. Now, how does that affect us here at home, here in the United States? Well, war zones drive up energy, grain, and fertilizer. Shipping costs, they all go up. All that passes to your grocery bill, your heating bill, and your rent. Remember that refugee flows and migration stress, U.S. border and immigration policy debates. Global instability increases risk of financial market shocks, supply chain breakdowns, currency uh, volatility, and protectionist policies. Very important to note. Some military actions abroad commit U.S. resources, troops, money, diplomatic attention that might otherwise help at home. Now, when we go to food prices, which everyone is talking about, food inflation continues. Meats, eggs, dairy, oil, they're all rising. Many are skipping meat entirely, saving it for, quote, special days. Grocery chains have shrinkflation, smaller sizes, same prices, or surcharges on essential goods. Now, in one region, chuck ground meat under 1 pound was reportedly priced at $80. Many consumers say that they can no longer fill a full cart. People are talking more about grocery budgets, couponing, bulk buying, co ops, growing gardens in their home, and different ways in general how to stretch a meal, recipes, stretching a little protein across more plates. This is the talk of the day now. Nobody's talking about now how you can't afford Christmas. They're talking about how can you afford the next plate of food. We'll return in less than 10 seconds and we'll jump into some quick recipes just to change the tone a little bit for you all. And get your pen and paper, and we'll be back with some quick recipes that are meatless, that are friendly for your budget. We'll be back in 10. We are back. Thank you all for hanging in. The first recipe up for today's broadcast is bean and vegetable stew. Now, for bean and vegetable stew, if you have 1 cup of dry beans on hand, any kind, you can have black beans, pinto beans, navy beans, whatever you have on hand. You're going to need 1 cup of dried beans for this recipe. You're going to need 1 onion, diced, chopped up, however you can do it, however you can handle it in your kitchen. 2 carrots, if you have that on hand, also dice that up as well. If you have potatoes on hand, get 2 potatoes, cut those small. And 2 garlic cloves that actually give a nice little taste and seasoning to it. Some water, some broth, and a little salt and pepper for some additional seasoning to your food. Now, if you soak the beans, if possible, do a little quick soak. You can put in some hot water and let it soak a little bit. And in a pot, you can saute some onions and garlic until soft. Now, let me tell you another way to do this. If you want to really chop some time off of this, you can take a canned beans instead of fresh beans, okay? And do the same instructions. You can go ahead and saute some onion and garlic inside a little tiny bit of oil in the pot. And then you can go ahead and add the vegetables, whatever vegetables you have on hand. Open up that can of beans, throw that in there, add your broth, and go ahead and let everything simmer together to grab the flavors in at least about 20 minutes. And then you'll be ready to serve that with some rice or some bread. Very easy meal, low budget, won't cost you a thing because a lot of these things you already have in your home and it doesn't require meat. Now, the second recipe that we have up for today's broadcast is cornmeal mush with greens. Now, don't get it confused now, okay? Don't take the title and change it up in your mind. Take it as survival, okay? This is old school survival recipes that they never failed our ancestors and they won't fail us today. These are a lot of recipes that I myself apply because I am a living historian, shall I say. Okay, so you need 1 cup of cornmeal. You'll need 3 cups of water or milk, whatever you have on hand. And if you have some spinach or collard greens, if you have some fresh ones, that's good. If not, have some spinach in a can, whatever you have in your home. And you need 1 onion. If you have that, that'll give it some really good flavor, and salt and pepper. Now, as far as preparing that, you want to bring your liquid to boil with a little bit of salt inside of it. That'll give it a good little flavor, get it going. And then you want to gradually whisk in that cornmeal so that way it doesn't get those lumps, okay? You reduce the heat and keep stirring until it gets a little bit thick. In a separate pan, you can saute some onions with that spinach or whatever green vegetables that you have. Let's say you don't have either of those. If you have green beans, throw that in there. It'll work just as well with the sauteed onion. And you can serve the greens. Make sure you add a little salt and pepper in there too as well. And you can serve the greens and the onion over the mush or on the side of the mush. Very yummy recipe. Now, for the third recipe that I have for you all is oat and fruit porridge, okay? A lot of us have oatmeal in our house. A lot of us got oatmeal from the pantry when the economy was better than what it is, and now you got to go in that dry pantry and pull out that oatmeal, okay? That's survival food because it doesn't go that bad, right? That quickly. We can store those things. We're being realistic. We're human. You can store those things. So 1 cup of oats. You're going to need 2 cups of water or milk, whatever you have on hand, and just whatever fruit that you have. If you have some dried fruit, maybe you have some dried cherries that maybe the pantry gave you, maybe you have some walnuts, maybe you have a banana, whatever you may have on hand in your home. Work with whatever you have. Okay, a little bit of pinch of salt and some sweetener if you have it. If you have some sugar on hand, some brown sugar, whatever you have. And also lately, I've been using confectioner sugar myself to sweeten coffee and other drinks when we run out of sugar. It's really actually good, and it might make your drink just a little cloudy, but it actually tastes just like regular sugar, just good, no difference to it. Remember that the confectioner sugar is just cornstarch with the sugar. Anyways, so the instructions for that is that all you got to do is boil that water up with a little bit of salt, stirring your oats just like you would make any type of regular oatmeal if you're used to making oatmeal already. Reduce your heat just a little bit, stir until a little bit creamy, about 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. And then you can add your fruit in there or you can add it afterwards. I would add it in depending on what fruit it was. If it was some dried cherries, I might just throw that in there and let it cook with the oatmeal while it's warm, or I'll wait till the oatmeal cools down a little bit, maybe throw some walnuts or some strawberries or whatever you may have. but serve your oatmeal warm. Now, these are simple but forgiving and flexible meals, and you can swap in whatever vegetables or grains that you have on hand. When we come back in about 10 seconds, I got a little bit of motivation for you before we leave today's broadcast, and you don't want to miss it. We'll be back in 10 seconds. Remember, folks, that life is a song. It's a rhythm, not just a meter of labor. Okay. And when the world pushes, you must let your spirit sway. Okay. You don't have to perform to every note that they play. Okay. Dance your own dance. Take your time. Breathe. Don't let the chaos consume you. Remember that information is always a tool, not a cage. It's a tool, not a cage. You are not the sum of headlines. Remember your inner core, your purpose, your spark. And when life feels like a battle, sometimes the best answer is a soft posture, a patient step, a quiet faith. Move with dignity, live with intention, live with quietness. Quietness doesn't mean you're stupid or you're dumb or you have no intelligence. No, quietness means that you're just more aware of what you are listening to, what is in your surroundings, what's actually around you, what's in your face. You pay more attention when you're quiet. Okay, just a little bit of motivation for today for you all. I thank you all for being here with me today. I am Pavio G, your host, and I hope that you take from this a clearer mind, a steadier heart, and a little bit of nourishment for your body. And if you found value in this broadcast, please make sure that you subscribe. Please also make sure that you share it and bring someone else into this beautiful circle that we have here. Stay aware, stay kind, and make sure that you stay grounded in your own path, not in the path of others, but in your own path. Again, this is War Notes, and I'm Pavio G, and I'm signing off. Thank you all. Have a beautiful and blessed day.